You either have to go back on a stronger biologic, you have to get your colon removed, or you're going to die.
Beth, thank you so much for joining me today to discuss your journey. I'm so thrilled that you're here. Thanks for being here and having the courage to share your story. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and first off, can you share what were you diagnosed with, how long ago, and what was that like for you?
I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2021. It was pretty awful. I had a 8-month-old child. I was already super tired anyways, really drained, and I just started to have bloody diarrhea and they couldn't figure out what was going on. At first, they diagnosed it as an E. coli infection,
Hmm.
and they treated that.
Hmm.
But then I still had symptoms after the treatment for that was through. And so they did a colonoscopy, and yeah, basically I was told you have ulcerative colitis, you're going to be sick forever. Here's medication.
Oh, man, the trauma of that, right? Now, before that, were you having GI issues or other issues that you think were related, looking back now? Or was it just out of nowhere? You had gut was fine, entire life, boom, 2021 hits.
It seemed like out of nowhere. My gut was fine. After I became a mom, I think everything kind of exploded with health issues. And yeah, it seemed like it came out of nowhere. The only thing I had ever had was I'd had a parasite when I lived in East Africa, but I seemed to recover from that fine, and that was it.
Man, and so you're totally fine your life. How old were you when you were diagnosed?
I was 40.
So your whole life, your teenage years, your 20s, your 30s, this
Yeah.
is we're fine. And did it ever run in your family? Anyone else have this issue?
They suspect that my grandfather had some issues. It was never diagnosed, but
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
often on the toilet and they don't know what was going on. So, yeah.
okay. So grandfather may had some GI issues going on, but back in the 30s,
Yeah.
1950s, it wasn't really even a prevalent thing,
Yeah.
and diagnoses were, I don't even know if they were truly diagnosing ulcerative colitis even then. So now you've got your child, you're stressed out, told you to be an incurable disease. How did you feel about the medications and did they work? Did they help you?
At the time, I just wanted to feel better. So I just took the medication. I didn't even research it too much. I just was like, okay, this is what I need to do.
Yep.
They worked at first, but I was on oral medication, I was on enemas, I was on suppositories, and that was not easy when I was breastfeeding and a child up in the middle of the night all night, and like I had to get somebody to like make sure they listened to my son, listen for my son while I did my enema for a while, right? Like it was,
And was
yeah,
this steroid enema? Was it a prednisone and
it
pentasa?
was Pentasa.
Yeah, pentasa steroid enema.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I'm sure like mesalamine or, stomach coat or anti-inflammatory.
yeah.
Hmm. And so that was helping. And then as you started getting off the steroids, did you feel like nothing was working? And I'm sure they recommended biologics at that point, which can be really helpful for a lot of us, right? A lot of us really need them. But what was your experience?
That worked for maybe like 9 months or so. It worked for a while. And then there was kind of an incident where I just started to get sick. I think I ate some bad food, and my body reacted, and then it just kind of spiraled. And eventually I just ended up going to the ER so many times that they took a look at it and recommended me to go on a biologic Entyvio.
Okay. And so you kept spiraling. And did you decide to go on the Entyvio or were you thinking that's not for me? What was your experience?
I thought it sounded like a good idea to try it. My hesitation was I was still breastfeeding, and so I was pretty concerned about that. So I actually stopped breastfeeding a bit earlier than I wanted to so that I could start on the Entyvio medication.
What was your experience over the last few years with Entyvio?
It worked for me for a while to a certain extent. Like I still had some symptoms, but it definitely, like, I didn't have any blood, I didn't have any major issues. I felt fairly normal. And I even moved to doing self injections at some point. And
Okay.
yeah, I felt fairly normal, but I still had some bloating and some issues. But
So Yeah, so you still, so the inflammation was going down, the body was healing as you were suppressing that inflammatory response. Did you continue with Entyvio, or did you get to a point where you decided to come off?
I did. I continued until I started seeing blood in my stool again. That was November 2023. And so then I got a colonoscopy and they saw some inflammation there, and they decided to switch my Entyvio to every month instead of every other month to increase the dose, and we monitored it for a bit, but it didn't improve things. Things were just getting worse.
Man, and that can be tough. So Entyvio was helpful, and it can be helpful for so many of us, but it kind of ran its course after about 2 years. And that was about almost 2 years ago. It's 2025 now. And at that point, were you just like, I'm out of options. I need to start looking at natural medicine or alternative therapies? Is that when you started looking around and
Yeah, yeah, it is. I actually took some courses in Islamic medicine and
Ah,
traditional medicine and was trying to look at what I could do with my diet for that. And so I tried that for a little while and I went off Entyvio completely in January 2024 was my last dose. And then I actually tried the carnivore diet for a little while, like 4 or 5 months. And I did feel better, like my symptoms improved. But then after that, I just got really, really sick last summer.
oh man. And that's when you started looking around because you joined the program this summer of 2024.
Yeah.
And when you started looking at Shield, what made you feel like this was unique? This is different. You'd already been carnivore. You'd already tried medications. What made you think that this could actually really help you and this was your ticket, this was your home?
It was the focus, like the complete focus on IBD, I think. And it showed that people really knew what they were talking about. Like even my gastroenterologist, like they cover so many different conditions and diseases that they just don't have that focus. They don't have that time to do the research. And it really felt like it was super helpful that you and everybody else had gone through this too, right? They knew what we were
Yeah,
experiencing. So, yeah.
I agree. And isn't it hard sometimes to be talking with amazing doctors and amazing practitioners who are kind of feel like they're talking from an ivory tower, that like they don't have this disease, where it's really great to talk to practitioners who are on the boat with you.
And people that are open to other options too. My
Yes.
doctor, unfortunately, was said in right before I joined the S.H.I.E.L.D program, she said, you either have to go back on a stronger biologic, you have to get your colon removed, or you're going to die. Basically, what she said to me.
Jesus.
Very dramatic.
Whoa. Who says that? That's insane. Talk about trauma. Well, I'm sorry you
Yeah.
had to go through that, Beth. So you had these symptoms that were just continuing. You did a good job of keeping your bowel movements low, but you had this chronic bleeding right before you joined, mucus, urgency, really bad bloating, and some cramping and pain. Is that correct? Gas. And then also you had very low energy, right? You were saying your energy was just low. You were maybe a few pounds underweight.
Yeah. And I
Was
was anemic.
and that's, I mean, anemic on the carnivore diet. That's hard to believe for a lot of us, right?
Mhm.
Carnivore diet can be very helpful. You were also using Nystatin as a medication to try to help for that fungal growth. And so you were going through all that. You had put a lot of work in looking at different types of Eastern philosophies, going carnivore, using Nystatin, using biologics, trying to raise your children. And then you came in. And so now it's been 8 months or so since you joined. What are your symptoms now?
I have very few symptoms now.
Great.
Maybe a little bit of bloating here and there, but yeah, very, very little symptoms.
No blood, no
No
urgency,
blood.
no diarrhea. You had chronic loose stool and diarrhea coming in, and you got rid of the majority of bloat. I mean, if there's a person on the world who doesn't get some bloat every once in a while, please raise your hand. Universally, like bloat.
Yeah.
IBD's flaring, I got bloat. It's like, well, let's calm down with that, right? Are you taking any medications? Did you take medications to achieve these results?
I didn't take any Western medications. I did take some Ayurvedic medication during this time too.
Okay, I love
And
that.
I obviously took the supplements that Lori was suggesting, but no Western medications at all.
So you didn't have to use biologics, steroids, antibiotics, immunomodulators like 6-MP, methotrexate, any of that to achieve this. And your energy's great now?
It's, yeah, as good as it can be with a young child, I think. Yeah.
And you did all this from Canada.
Yes.
Got these amazing results. You worked directly with Coach Lori, who is amazing. I want to talk about her for a second. You did this without any kind of Western medications, but combining, and that's one of the things we love to do, combining some Ayurvedic, combining just natural functional medicine style. And did you have to stay on a very, very strict diet? Are you able to eat a broad, healthy, whole food diet now?
I was pretty strict at first,
Yep.
and I still use a pressure cooker for all my vegetables pretty much, but I can eat any vegetable that's pressure cooked.
Wow. So you can eat plants. You're not scared of plants anymore.
I'm not scared of plants now. No. Yeah, my diet is pretty broad. I stay away from gluten. I stay away from seed oils. Mostly stay away from dairy.
Yeah, you follow food philosophy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you eat from the earth. And if you look at people like let's say our grandparents, how much gluten did they actually eat? It wasn't that much. I mean, the gluten was different than it is now, as we know. But so you were able to do this. You broadened. If you look at what you were eating when you came in versus now, you're eating more food. You don't have any symptoms. You're able to get off the medication safely. And you're able to normalize your life and triple your energy. I mean, this is absolutely, and you did it from Canada, which is amazing. And this is after going on really strict diets, trying some of the strongest medications, and your doctor telling you have to get your colon removed or you might pass away. I mean, this is crazy. Do you feel like you're empowered now? Do you feel like you have something that you can do something about this and now you have a say and you feel safer in your body?
Totally. Yeah, I think having this shield with the knowledge and the community and the people you can ask questions to really makes me feel like, not that I'm in control, because I believe that a higher power is in control, but that I can manage it and that I'm moving in the right direction. Like I still can't believe how much I improved in such a short amount of time.
I mean, how long did it take you to start seeing results working with Coach Lori?
I think blood was gone within a couple weeks.
2-3 like
yeah.
10 days?
And then I would say within a month or two, I felt significantly better. Yeah, even that.
And guys, we cannot guarantee everyone out there is going to feel perfect and we're going to home run for you just like Beth. This is tough. It's a chess match. Everyone's plan is customized and our coaches tweak and work with you. But another thing I love that we talked about here, Beth, is your shield can include anything you want to include. It can include Eastern or Western or Ayurvedic. It can include different energetic healing, meditation, different plants, meats, whatever you like. So it's inclusive of everything and it's your shield that you can always tweak. And now you have the power to understand what works and why and how to move those variables. So
it was great.
Yeah, and you're a member for life and you have that community and you can talk with any other Shield member at any given time. So we know there's that level of authenticity that everyone can talk to each other. That's why this thing works so great, right? It's like we're a team, we're a community, we help each other. So I love it so much. Coach Lori, how important was it to have Coach Lori? Could you have done this without her? Could you have just watched the trainings only? Or was Coach Lori absolutely vital for your success?
I think she was vital. I love learning about all the different options, but there was just too many options. Like You could watch videos forever, but I needed to know exactly what I should try. And so having Coach Lori guide me, and we kind of adjusted things obviously as we went, it was super helpful.
Yes. That's one of the reasons why we are a hybrid program where you get your own one-on-one coach, plus you have all the trainings, whether it's parasite or mold or fungal issues or mental health, or we have different professors doing tapping or heart math and all these different things. So you have all these resources, and then your coaches can help it bring it all together and customize it for you. And so if anyone wants to consider a Coach Lori also, you can click this link below, schedule a free session. And Beth, I'm sure you had your free session too, to talk about it and say, hey, what's this? Does this really work? Who am I? Will this fit me? Is this a real thing? All that, guys, that's right below. Just click that link. There's no gimmicks, no hacks, no nothing. We just want to put our best foot forward for you and just talk about your case and see if we're a great partnership. And Beth, I'm sure you had that call as well, and that went well for you as well.
Yeah, I did. My husband and I had some skepticism too. Like, is this real? Is it a scam? So we had the call and we did our research, and there's just so many people out there that don't believe you can heal naturally or in a different way. And that's part of the reason why I want to share this story, is that, yeah, you really can. People can, and people do all the time. So.
Yeah. And God makes that possible for our body to heal, right? The divine inside of us, our body can heal. And, isn't it ironic? I mean, you're now doing and sharing your story when you were watching these and you and your husband had your skepticisms, and now here you are, symptom-free, 8, 9 months later, sharing your testament. Thank you so much. Two questions for you. You had a customized program. It was changed over months of time. But is there one thing you would like to highlight to anyone resonating with your case who got diagnosed later on in life and came out of nowhere and tried many things? Is there one thing? It could be an idea, a strategy, a supplement. It could be a protocol or something. Is there one thing you'd like to share with anyone else who's resonating with your case?
I think it's actually just the belief that you can heal, and also getting help, asking for help. Yeah. I actually was able to do this program because I set up a GoFundMe. And so I decided to ask my friends and community for help. And I actually believe that that was a part of my healing too, asking for help, being vulnerable. Wow. And the support that poured in to help me.
I mean, Bethany, that is such a testament. You raised money to join the program, and here you are doing a testament. I mean, I am so grateful because, right, when someone has to go out and ask their community for funding, it puts a lot of pressure on us, as you can imagine. Like, okay, we've got limited resources. We've got to reverse an incurable disease, reverse those symptoms and empower this person. And for you to be here, sharing your story, and all your friends and family seeing you shine, it makes me very grateful. Thank you for the courage. Any last words of advice for anyone out there who's listening to your case that you would give to them?
I think just believing that it can be done, taking the time to figure out what works for you. I'm so fortunate that I had results so quickly, and it really turned around. But I could see that it could take time. It took time because I tried many things before this too, right? So just keep trying until you find what works. And I think in this community that you would definitely find something that's going to work and make improvements.